No, throughout all my challenge videos, I've never gotten the Stormcloak ending. Well, I'm gonna fix that. So today I find out, can you beat Skyrim as a Stormcloak soldier? I'm allowed to wear Stormcloak armor, use Stormcloak weapons, and use things that have been given to me through the Stormcloak questline, or things I find off dead Stormcloaks. So all that being said, let's get started. How we always start, a dragon saving my life. As I was saved, I decided to follow the Stormcloaks out for, well, obvious reasons. As, unlike in many other challenges, I can actually fight back when I start the tutorial, because I'm given Stormcloak armor and some weapons, which is nice. Now, since these are characters you can fight at the very beginning of the game, and this is supposed to be a tutorial, they are really easy to get past. As I killed some Imperials and even killed some Frost Spiders, which is, nice. And then I killed a bear, which is, well, nice again, I suppose. As then I finally left the cave, got on a carriage, and went off to Windhelm, the true capital of Skyrim, because it's the capital of the Stormcloaks. As I talked to Ulfric, he refused to recognize me, even though he was right next to me when he almost died. Oh well, no time to think about how I joined a faction that doesn't remember or care about me. It's time to fight an ice spike and to destroy it once and for all. To prove myself to the Stormcloaks pretty hard, almost died, but I survived, went back to them, they said I was worthy, and it was time to get Ulfric the crown of the Nords. As then I met up with my buddy, who I followed back when I almost died, and he told me that I was doing a good job. As then, me and him led an attack on the Imperials there, and the Imperials went down pretty easy. But, to be expected, since this quest was made so you can do it really early on, so I wasn't expecting much backlash or any difficulties here. Also, I looted a corpse of a fallen comrade, so that's nice. After that, we opened a door, solved a puzzle, and made it all the way to the Dragger Scourge. And I died, because I was careless and fought him directly. Now, this is how you're supposed to do it. Stay back and let your soldiers do all the work, and at the very last second, jump in and kill him. Or don't. The Stormcloaks here are pretty tanky. Then I went to Ulfric and returned his crown, even though I did barely any of the work. So, I wanted better armor. And there's this Stormcloak officer you can actually find early on in the game. So, I decided to kill him and take his armor. Technically, if I kill him, it won't aggro the Stormcloaks. So, really, there's no reason not to, besides, killing a fellow comrade. But no one saw me kill him, so it doesn't really matter. So I killed him and took the officer armor. Then I went to Windhelm to do the sneak trick to try to get my sneak up. Because I thought since I was going to wear light armor, maybe I could sneak around for once. Yeah, I sucked at sneaking. Even with high skills, I failed at it every single time. Anyway, I had to continue the main quest line so I could, actually continue the Stormcloak quest line. So after putting some points in the sneak, quick saving, it was time to go off and find the Dragonstone. As I got to test out my one-handed techniques. You see, usually when I fight, I usually go with a two-handed weapon, or magic, so using a one-handed was actually kind of nice and a new experience for me, as I cleared my way through the dungeon and killed some spiders. As then, I decided I would just take the golden claw myself by cutting through the dialogue. Thank you, I'll be here all night. So after taking the golden claw and killing some dragger, I then tried to sneak up on them, but it didn't really work out that well, because they would wake up halfway through it, and I didn't get the perk where I did a bunch of extra sneak damage with two-handed weapons, which is my bad, I guess. As then, I just smuggled my way through them, and got the Dragonstone. As then I decided to go back to Windhelm to get a bow and arrow. As I stole it from Stormcloaks, therefore it's a Stormcloak bow. It is a hunting bow, which I've seen Stormcloaks use, so I'm going to count it as fair game. As then, I went over to Whiterun and began to help them do the siege. As it was time for us to take over Whiterun. Why? Because Whiterun wanted to be neutral, and you can't be neutral during war. You're either with us or against us. Yeah, when I say that, I'm starting to think I picked the wrong side. But that doesn't really matter. As then we went to Whiterun and forced the Jarl into submission, taking it over. As then, after that, I was jumped by hired mercenaries, which I don't know why, because I haven't really done anything wrong in this game. So if you know why that happens, please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, after that, I reported for duty, and it was time to take over an Imperial fort. As I tried to sneak in, didn't work, so I just killed the Imperials in front of me. As then I made it to the barracks, and I freed all the prisoners by lockpicking the doors, one by one. as the prisoners took up their arms and joined the fight against the Imperial scum. As then I led the fight to them, and I killed them. They did not put up much of a fight. After that, I then went off to blackmail a Jarl so we can get information, as the Jarl told us where to find some supplies so we can ambush it and stop it from getting into the Imperials. A few swords and a few spears wouldn't hurt, I suppose. As then we met up and fought the Imperials to get the supplies. As they went down pretty easily to my new sword, they were no match for my sword and axe technique, where I hit them with an axe and then I hit them with a sword. Not really rocket science there, but it does the trick. As we got the supplies, I then went to attack a fort and kill more Imperials. But this time it was easy because there was many Stormcloaks there to help me. So all I really had to do was stay back and pick one or two off while they did most of the work. As then I decided to test out my bow on a courier, as I needed to kill him and take the information so I can sabotage the Imperial army. As he tried to put up a fight, but he was made to fight early on, so me and my bow easily took care of him. As then I met with his general and told him false information. As then it was time to clear out another Imperial fort. The Imperials put up more of a fight this time for some reason. I think it was just because I was charging head in this time. But it really didn't do much. As then I managed to get some better Stormcloak armor. Now, technically it's not Stormcloak armor, but it was given to me by the Stormcloaks, so I'm going to call it that. As then I rushed into the capital, and it was time to finally kill General Tullius and take Skyrim for the Stormcloaks once and for all. They tried to talk us down, but I refused, as then I attacked the Legate immediately. As the Legate put up somewhat of a fight, but all I really had to do was charge in and take pot shots until she fell to the floor, dead. With the Legate gone, it was time for me to kill General Tullius, which he goes on to say that the Thalmor planned this and they want Skyrim to be weaker and divided by letting the Stormcloaks win. Which, let's be honest, he's probably right, but I kill him anyway, and Dwarven sword, and since it was given to me by Ulfric, I am allowed to use it, as in I use it to chop off his head. As General Tullius fell to the floor dead, I then listened to Ulfric's speech, as then the Stormcloaks took over Skyrim. For now. Keep in mind, the Imperials have a giant empire and they will be back, so that's probably all for nothing. But there's no time to think about that depressing stuff, as I killed a Sabertooth and went off the steps to meet the Greybeards, as the Greybeards wanted proof that I was the mighty dragonborn, as I showed them proof by yelling at them. After I yelled at them, they didn't believe me. As then I had to yell some more, but this time I yelled at Ghost, or whatever the heck he just did. Not gonna lie, I wasn't really paying attention. After that, I then zoomed through a gate, and they said I was worthy. So, it was time for me to do a quest for a Greybeard, because everyone wants me to do something. As I had to get the Horn of Jar Windcaller. I probably butchered that, but I don't really care, because I don't play Skyrim that often. So, if you're mad, tell me in the comments, and I'll feel free not to read it. As I got a pretty sick kill on a spider, made my way through the dungeon. As eventually I went to find the horn, but the horn wasn't there. It was some note from some person called Dolphine, everyone's favorite Skyrim character. As then it was time for me to kill a resurrected dragon. It did do quite a bit of damage on me, but once I got to its side and just started slashing it up, it was no match for me. And not gonna lie, I'm starting to like this one-handed weaponry. I don't know why I always go two-handed. Dual wielding's actually kind of fun, as then I got a sick kill on a dragon, as I jumped on its head and sliced it open. But I cut it short because you've been bad and you don't deserve to see it. As then I went off to a Thalmor party, as then I got a drunk to hit on a girl. After that, I then went off to slaughter some Thalmor, because this is revenge for that Ice King challenge where I could do barely any damage to them, because frost magic sucks. So I killed some, made my way through, found a journal, and then killed some more. As there's not really much to go over here, so I'll just skip the whole party. As I went back to Dolphine, I told her that Esben was alive, so she sent me to go find him. So it was time to go to the Ratways. And, well, not really much happened here either. Surprisingly, dual wielding is pretty overpowered in this game. Now, I did almost get overwhelmed by some Thalmor, but once I got a critical hit on them, they were pretty much gone. As I made it to Esben and told him some gay password that Dolphine made up. as then we went off and fought some wizards, and I wonder how many times I've said Thalmor in the past 5 minutes. Probably a lot. As I got rid of the Thalmor, I then met with Dolphine and said Thalmor for the very last time. I promise, guys, please don't unsub. I then went to the Kingdom of Heaven, or the Temple of Heaven, however you guys say it, and slaughtered Forsaken. And since we've all done the Temple of Heaven quest a lot, I'm just going to skip over it and get screamed at by some angry old men. I screamed at them, now they get to scream at me. Only seems fair. After that, I then screamed at clouds and parted them once and for all. As I met with Parthenax, he was lonely and chatted my ear off, made me want to kill him with the blades, and then I went off to find the Dragon Scroll. But the College of Windhelm had no idea where it was, so I had to meet with Septix, the crazy man, and he finally told me where the Dragon Scroll was. So I finally could go through this without trouble. Last time I did a few challenge videos on this, it gave me trouble. But the Stormcloaks weapons are pretty good, so yeah, I didn't really have much trouble on it. Now, I did almost die from this guy, which is kind of weird because I fought Dwarven spears with easy compared to this guy. I don't know if he's like legendary or what, but I was able to take him down. As then I tried to use a shout to cheat my way through the main quest. Didn't work, but if you fail once, try again. As then I used the shout again, and it worked. I don't know why it worked the second time, not the first time. Like Todd Howard said, it just works. As eventually I got to the Dragon Scroll and picked it up. After finally getting to the Dragon Scroll, it was time for me to fight Alduin, but before that, I had to look into the past and see how Alduin was defeated. Apparently, he was defeated with a shout called Dragon Ground. As I used a strategy, you see, I didn't want to get anywhere near Alduin because he would mess me up, so I would use Dragon Ren and just shoot him with bows and arrows. Now, even with a hunting bow, this shouldn't be that hard if I increase archery, but I didn't. So I died a few times until I finally got his health down to barely any, ran towards him, and killed him. And by kill, I simply mean make him run away like a little bitch. After that, I went to Whiterun and convinced them to trap a dragon. After convincing them to trap the dragon, I then talked to him, and he agreed to fly me to Alduin. So then I rode him to fight Alduin. As not really much to say here, because I used Ethereal to just run past most of the enemies. Now, you could say this is against the rules, but I'm not really doing damage here, so I will allow it. Maybe in future challenges, I won't allow it. Let me know if I should let myself use to become Ethereal Shout. Anyway, I then killed some Dragger, and as then, I just ran past all the enemies once again, and jumped into the portal, entering the afterlife without even dying. Very nice, if I say so myself. After entering the afterlife and had to prove myself, which was actually the hardest part of the challenge, but eventually I found a strategy. Run away and go to high places with a bow and shoot him as you run away. As eventually he would get stuck on rocks and other things like that. As I was eventually able to whittle him down and make him let me in, proving I was worthy. I don't know why, but he was the hardest fight in this entire challenge. No joke. As then I used my shout to clear the sky with the other dragonborns, causing Alduin to come down. And I wish I could tell you this was a hard fight, but the very last fight at the end of the game is always really easy. So I just easily took out Alduin with the rest of the dragonborns, proving that yes, you can beat Skyrim as a Stormcloak soldier. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I know it's pronounced Draugr, not Dragger, so please don't correct me in the comments below. I learned that after recording this, so peace out.